Hey guys, it's time for another declutter. Today we're going to be doing my eyeshadows. This is going to be long, painful, very painful for me. We're going to be getting into like the bulk of my eyeshadows, which are quads, like mid-size to smaller kind of eyeshadow palettes. I have all of my bigger ones in that IKEA drawer, like at the bottom of my system that I sit in front of when I'm filming. I think you guys probably remember that, but I have like a lot of my larger palettes in there. So yeah, so we're going to be getting into this. I really desperately need to make some room. So I have all of these Dior Quints that have like really just been floating around my room. I've moved them from like my vanity to on top of my drawers to wherever. Anyway, I've had no place for them, so I want to go through these. And then I have this drawer of quads. It's mostly Charlotte Tilbury and Chanel quads. And then I have this whole drawer dedicated to Tom Ford quads. I have my Viseart 12 pans in here along with lots of other stuff. Some By Terry stuff up here. Some other, you know, NARS and like ABH palettes, Chantecaille, my Pat McGrath palettes, and I don't know if we'll be able to get to my singles. So these are all of my single shadows, which I love. Oh, some more smaller palettes. I definitely want to get to these. And then these are all of my single kind of cream and liquid shadows, which I love. Also, I don't know if I'll be able to get to those today either. And then my Pat McGrath palettes, which I don't think I'll be getting rid of. And then I have yet another drawer of smaller eyeshadow palettes. So we have a lot to get through. So let's go ahead and just start with these Dior Quints that I have just laying out here already. I guess what I'll do is like open all of these up so we can see what's going on. All right, I don't know if you can see all of them clearly with like all the lids up, but I will hold them up. So this one I'm gonna keep. This one was one of the limited edition winter ones. It has that like snowflake pattern on there, and I really like the color story. So I'm gonna hold on to this. And then all of these are part of the regular line. And I'm definitely gonna be keeping Soft Cashmere, as I'm sure you guys could have guessed. This is my all-time favorite. It is shade number 669. And yeah, I just love it. I love this shade in particular. So I'm gonna hold on to this one. I think I will pass this one along because I don't use blue shadows that much. So I'm gonna pass this one along. This is the denim one, 279. If you're into blue eyeshadows, this is a gorgeous one. It's just not for me. All right, here are three that, I don't know, for some reason they kind of look similar to me, maybe because there's some like reds and pinks in there. Even though I'm not like the biggest pink purple eyeshadow fan, I love this quint. There's something about this shade. It's so beautiful. And let me take this off. This shade is gorgeous. I mean, they're all just really beautiful. Like this quint, I feel like is one of those palettes. It comes together on your eyes a lot more beautifully than you would anticipate by looking at it. So I am going to hold on to this one. And this one is 859 Pink Coral. I think I'm going to pass this one along. This one is Rouge Trafalgar. And this one is great if you're really into like a bold kind of like red look. I feel like all the shades in here sort of support the red in the middle. And I know I'm just not going to use this that often. So I'm going to go ahead and pass that one along. I really love this one as well. This one is 22769. And this is a beautiful like cool toned palette. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's almost like a cool tone version of Soft Cashmere, where Soft Cashmere is a little bit more neutral. So I'm going to hold on to 22. Yeah, this is really tough. Okay, I'm going to hold on to Jungle, which is the one that has the deep green shade in there, just because I think this is a little bit different for my collection. And I really like, you know, the Dior shadows and how they perform. So I'm going to hold on to this. I think I'm going to get rid of this one or pass this one along. This one is Mitza. And again, it's just, you know, kind of like a beautiful warm toned palette, but I just feel like I know I have these shades over and over again. So I'm going to pass this along. And then we're getting into really hard territory here because these four are really, just all of these I think are really great kind of like everyday palettes. I think this one is a little bit too light. I mean, dare I say a little bit too everyday, even though that is totally my vibe. But yeah, this one is like a little bit too boring for me. This one is Nude Dress. I mean, it's beautiful, but yeah, I just feel like that shadow. Ugh. Yeah, I'm gonna pass this one along, Nude Dress. And I think I wanna keep this one. This one feels the most different to me. This one is 599 New Look. And this shadow in the middle there, like you think it's just gonna be a chocolatey brown, but it actually has a little bit of a purple undertone. And it just kind of makes this entire palette a little bit more sophisticated. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep this one. This one is Poncho. Okay. Okay, I'm going to, sorry, I took out my other ones just to kind of compare what I've got going on here, but I think I'm gonna keep both of these. This one is very unique for the Dior line, and I personally love a palette that looks kind of like a black tie tuxedo situation. So I'm gonna hold on to that, and then I'm gonna hold on to this Poncho because it just has some really beautiful like gold tone shades in there. It's just a little bit more sultry than like a regular everyday nude palette. So I'm gonna hold on to that one. So Denim, Rouge Trafalgar, Mitza, and Nude Dress are the four that I'm going to declutter. All right, so I am starting with the drawer that was like in the bottom right-hand corner of my whole wall of drawers, I guess you could say. So I'm gonna start over here. I've got the Bobbi Brown Camo Luxe Eye and Cheek palette, and I have admittedly totally been holding on to this for the packaging. I just love this little camo print. I did not like the eyeshadows in here. I thought they were pressed too hard. They were really kind of powdery, but I really liked this highlighter in here, but it was a little bit deep for me. So, you know, I can't actually really use any of these products, but I just love this packaging, but I think I just need to let it go. So I'm going to declutter this. This Kevyn Aucoin Emphasize Eye Design palette in Magnify has actually made it through a couple of declutters at this point, and it's really beautiful. It's cool toned. It has like a little bit of a purple kind of tint to it. It's really pretty, but it's so bulky because of this like cream foil eyeshadow in there, which I never use. So I'm just going to declutter this. I have, I believe, some other shadows in my collection that could be used in place of this. I have this old Burberry, I believe this was limited edition for holidays. I don't know, maybe 2017 or 18 at this point, but this is Gold Shimmer number 28. And as much as I like this, there really isn't that much of like a contrast between all four of these shades. So the eye look that you come out with, no matter what shades you use in here, are always kind of the same. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this. I've been holding on to this one because of the gold packaging, and I really love Burberry products, but I never use it. I'm gonna declutter that. Oh my gosh, I have totally been holding on to this for nostalgia purposes. This is the Becca Jaclyn Hill Champagne Collection Eye Palette. This is what they actually, I don't want to say recalled, but they like stopped production and they were giving people money back if they wanted it because people were really complaining about the quality of the eyeshadows in here. I thought mine was fine. I didn't have any problem with mine, and I actually really love this color story. It's really, really pretty, but you know, I never use it and it's so old at this point, so I'm gonna go ahead and declutter that. I think I'm also gonna declutter this Persona Color Theory Copper palette. This is a really beautiful palette, but I just don't use like this brick shade. I just don't use very often. And the looks that I get from here just end up being a lot more dramatic than what I normally wear. So I'm gonna go ahead and find a better home for that one. And then I have a bunch of Hourglass eyeshadow palettes. These are old. These are the original ones, the ones that don't come in like the individual pans. I just thought they were so beautiful, and I know a lot of people had problems with them. They are very, very powdery, so the gripe I think a lot of people had were, you know, that the powders were kind of muddying together and kind of shifting from one shade to the next. So I am going to get rid of all of these. They're just really, really old at this point. Here is a newer one, and you know, just like the Persona palette, I just end up with like a very, very dramatic eye when I use this palette, and that's just not, I don't know, it's just not what I'm going for these days. So I'm going to declutter all of these Hourglass eyeshadow palettes. And then we have like all of my Victoria Beckham stuff here, and I have to get rid of some of these because some of them are just way too old. I am gonna hold on to like her actual line, these smoky eye bricks. All of these are her collaboration with Estee Lauder that are very old, but I'm gonna be holding on to these. This one is Silk. This one is Tuxedo, which I love. Hold on to that. And then this one is Signature, which I'm also gonna hold on to. Okay, so this one, okay, this was her second collaboration with Estee Lauder. And I love this color story. I think a lot of people didn't get along with the formula. I thought it was I thought it was fine. I liked it a lot. I'm gonna hold on to this, if anything, for collector purposes, because I just really love the color story and I love these compacts. So I'm gonna hold on to this. And then this eyeshadow palette was part of their first collaboration. And yeah, I'm gonna keep this too, even though it's so old, but I just love it so much. And yeah, really just for collecting purposes. So I'm gonna hold on to that. This product I actually couldn't stand. This is the pressed powder that came out as part of her second collaboration with Estee Lauder, and I have been holding on to it for this packaging, but I think it's just time. I'm gonna go ahead and pass this along. And then we have a bunch of her single or double duo eyeshadows in here. So this was the navy and orange duo that came out with her second collaboration. I'm gonna go ahead and pass this along. I never use it. This came out with her original collaboration with Estee Lauder, and I love this eyeshadow so much. So I'm gonna hold on to it even though it's old. I'm also gonna hold on to Bitter Clove. This is like another dream color of mine. I just love it so much. And then this in Black Myrrh is a shade I used to use constantly as eyeliner. I would take like one of those straight like liner brushes and just poke it into this pan and use it as liner. It was so great. So I'm gonna hold on to this as well. It's just, again, so beautiful. Let's see, we have Blue and Nude. Again, this is from the second collaboration. I'm gonna pass this along. This is Noir and Vanilla. This was the one that I used the most from this second collaboration, but I'm gonna pass this along. I don't think I need to hold on to that one. And then this one is Blonde Gold. Oh yeah, my God, I kind of forgot about this one. It's so like chunky, but in a good way. It's really, actually you can see all the flakes on the outside of the pan, but it's a lot of fun and it's really pretty. So I'm gonna hold on to this one as well. All right, and in this section I have a lot of overflow of Viseart palettes because I try to keep all my Visearts together, but I have to rearrange stuff. But anyway, these are all the Petit Four palettes that I really enjoy. I'm gonna hold on to these. This is the fourth one. I'm gonna hold on to all of those. I'm gonna hold on to this Petit Pro Midsummer palette. This is like the 8-pan palette. This is the Violette Étendue. I don't know, I'm sure I'm slaughtering that. But I'm gonna hold on to this palette. It's really, really pretty. And I love Viseart shadows. And then here is the Petit Pro Solstice, which I'm also gonna hold on to. And then I have 3 Lila B quads. There is one that I definitely wanna hold on to. This one is Be Alluring. This one is Be Fabulous. And then this one is Be Stunning. So Be Stunning, I've had the longest. And so I've probably had this for about 4 years. So maybe it's time to pass this along. I love these 2 shades in here, right here. Oh, they're so beautiful. But I think it's time. I'm gonna go ahead and pass that one along. And then these 2 are on the newer side. So I'm gonna go ahead and hold on to these. I think these are only maybe like a year old. So I'm gonna hold on to both of these. And then I see I have some NARS over here. So I have 2 of the NARS Erdem 6-pan eyeshadow palettes. Oh, God, I just love these so much, but they are no longer around. This one is Night Garden. This one was the more dramatic of the 2. And this one is Fleur Fatale. Oh, I loved this. I wish they would stop making things limited edition. Like all of these shades are so Oh, so gorgeous. Okay, I'm gonna hold on to this one and then pass this one along. This is NARS Hamamet, which I really enjoy, but I'm gonna pass this along because I know this one is at least like 6 years old at this point. So I'm gonna pass that along. This one is Kalahari, and this is relatively new. Like this is in their newer packaging. So I'm gonna hold on to this. I really like the NARS shadows. Here is a duo from the Charlotte Gainsbourg collab, and I really like this duo, but it's old. I never use it, and it was limited edition. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass that along. And then, oh my God, I don't even know how old this is, but this is one of the Andy Warhol collaboration. Oh man. It even says Andy Warhol on the cover there and has a picture of like what's inside. And then it has a quote from him on the mirror. It says, "I believe in low lights and trick mirrors." Oh. Okay, I had to look this up. This came out in 2012. So it is going to be 9 years old. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna hold on to it. All right, so that's it for this drawer. I'm gonna go ahead and put back what I'm keeping, and then we'll move on. All right, I managed to fit all of the Dior quints that I'm keeping in this little section here, and I still have plenty of room. I guess I got rid of a lot more than I thought, which is a good thing. All right, let me put this back and I'll grab another drawer. Wow, I don't even know what is going on in this drawer. So first up, I've got my BK Beauty True Beauty palette. I'm definitely gonna be holding on to this. This is my friend Lisa J's company, and look at how beautiful this palette is. It's such a great everyday palette. So I'm gonna hold on to that. I don't know why I still have the box, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw out the box, but I'm gonna hold on to the palette. I'm gonna hold on to this Aether Beauty palette that they sent to me because it is just gorgeous. So I'm gonna hold on to that. I'm gonna hold on to the two Wayne Goss eyeshadow palettes. What are these called? The luxury eye palettes. This is Pearl Moonstone. This one is Imperial Topaz. So holding on to both of those. And then, oh, I have some of the non-quad Charlotte Tilbury palettes here. So this one is Stars in Your Eyes. This one is Pillow Talk. And then this one is Bejeweled Eyes to Hypnotize. So this one to me is the most unique because it has that purple in there and has these like really deep browns here. So I'm gonna hold on to this one. You know what's interesting? I don't think I've touched this one. Oh, I think maybe I swatched that shade right there. But other than that, I don't think I have touched this one. So I'm gonna feel good about passing this one along to someone. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pass along this Pillow Talk one. And then this Stars in Your Eyes palette I'm gonna hold on to. And then we have these little 6-pan palettes from Charlotte Tilbury that I really love. So I'm gonna hold on to them. This one is Charlotte Darling Easy Eye palette. And then this one is the Super Nudes. I really love both of these. So that is great. And then I have a whole bunch of these Natasha Denona mini palettes. Let's see what we have here. So the Love Is New, I'll probably hold on to that. The Nudes I love, the mini gold. Let's see. I think I'm gonna pass along this mini Lila palette. This one was okay. I just never use it, so I'm gonna go ahead and pass that along. The mini Nudes I really love, so I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna hold on to the Love because that one is new. I really like all of these. These are kind of similar, but they're different enough. If I had to choose, I would pick this one. This is the Zendo, and this is Retro. Yeah, I would pick the Zendo over the Retro, but I think I'm gonna hold on to all of these because they're small. They don't take up a lot of room, and I do like them. So I'm gonna hold on to all of those. And then I have two of the 5 pans. These are the larger 5 pans. This is one of my all-time favorite like palettes ever. This is the Camel palette, so I'm holding on to this. And then this palette, this Coral palette, I think I used maybe once, or maybe not even at all, but I really like this color story. I don't know why I haven't used it. So anyway, I'm gonna hold on to this and hopefully use it sometime soon. And then, why do I have these two Dior's sitting here? What are these? Oh, these are the trios from this past spring. So that's one of them. And then here is the other one. Okay, I'm gonna put this in that other drawer that we just went through that I have the other Dior's in. And then I have all of the Chantecaille Le Chrome Luxe Eye Duos. Why do I have two in Grand Canal? Let's see. I think this one, because it looks a little bit smoother on top, I actually used to swatch. Oh yeah, and I see the brush is a little bit dirty. So I'm gonna hold on to this one. And this one, I am going to find a good home for. And these are basically backups to these duos that I have in another drawer. I love these so much. These are, you guys have heard me talk about these a gazillion times, but these are some of my absolute all-time favorite eyeshadows. So I'm holding on to those. This Chantecaille Walk of Giants Safari Collection Eye Trio. This sold out so quickly, but I really love it so much. So I'm gonna hold on to this. Here is the NARS Extreme Effects eyeshadow palette. Oh, this one's hard to open. Oh, this one was a lot of fun. It had a lot of interesting textures in there. Yeah, this one is a lot of fun. I'm gonna hold on to this one. Even though this color story I feel like is not very me at all, I really enjoy it, probably because it's so different. So I'm gonna hold on to this. Oh, the Makeup by Mario palette. I really like this one. Nice and subtle, easy to use. I think it's very beginner friendly. I'm gonna hold on to this. And then we have the Charlotte Tilbury Icon palette. This one, you can see it's pretty well loved. This one was a lot of fun too. I felt like the formula in this one was really unique and pretty special. So I'm gonna hold on to this one. I haven't used this in a while. But I'm gonna hold on to it. Oh man, this is one of my favorite Laura Mercier palettes. This one is, it's hard to read because the sticker is clear. Eyes Redefined palette or something like that. I love this color story. Isn't it just so beautiful? But this was definitely limited edition. I don't know why. I really don't know why this is not just part of the regular line. I love that you just have like a shimmer version, matte version. It's just, it's so easy. So easy, but I think I'm gonna give this up. So yeah, I'm gonna pass that one along as much as that hurts me. This Laura Mercier palette, this is the Parisian Nudes eyeshadow palette. Really lovely as well. I used this, I think, in a video. Now, I think this one is gone too. Maybe this one was limited edition as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass this one along. And then I have my Byredo. This one, I am definitely not giving up. I love this quint so much. It's so beautiful. This is the Corporate Colors one. And isn't this packaging just so gorgeous? So holding on to this one. And then we have my two Persona palettes. So this is the Identity palette. I love this palette, one of the best neutral palettes ever. So I'm gonna hold on to that. And then this is her Identity 2 palette. And I'm gonna pass this along. I never use it, unfortunately. So I'm gonna pass this one along. All right, let me put back the palettes I'm keeping. All right, I'm actually continuing this the next day. So if the lighting looks a little bit different, I'm filming, it's super early in the morning. So anyway, this is the next drawer of shadows, and I have some of my Pat McGrath quads in here, and then I do have my new one here as well. This is the Eternal Eden one. And I'm so annoyed at myself because I mistakenly threw out the outer box packaging for it. I've been keeping them for the Pat McGrath because they're so pretty, but I was like in this recycling frenzy in my room, and I just was throwing out all the little boxes, and I threw out this one. So anyway, I'm going to be keeping all of these, so I'm just going to leave them all in here. I'm sure you guys know what these Pat McGrath quads look like. I do have this Addiction palette that was so kindly sent to me by Beauty Gypsy over on Instagram. This is one of my all-time favorite palettes. It has this beautiful bronzer here and then 4 shadows, and Oh, Addiction is so great. They're a Japanese makeup brand, and they're not sold in the US, but they're just absolutely lovely, and they actually remind me of the Surratt shadow. So I don't know if they're made in the same mill, maybe over in Japan. But anyway, this is an Addiction palette, which I will be keeping. These were some palettes that were kind of sitting on top of my shelf, so I just thought I would bring them down now. This is the Oma Beauty Black Magic, wait, what's the whole name? Black Magic Poise palette. And I'm gonna be holding on to this. I really like these shades over here. I pull these out often just to kind of use like some transition shades. I really like the tones of these. And these other shades are really beautiful too. So I'm gonna hold on to this. And then I have two of the By Terry VIP Expert palettes. This one is number 1. And then this one is number 3, which is the newest one, which I'll be holding on to both of these. I enjoy them very much. Wow, it doesn't look like I'll be getting much in this drawer. These are all of my Chantekais that I'm gonna be holding on to. These are all of the like Chrome Luxe Eye Duos that I love. Love, love, love. This one is Tibet, which is one of my favorites. This one is Monte Carlo, another one of my favorites. Here is Grand Canal, and here is Piazza San Marco. I'm actually not sure where my Kenya one is. Kenya is the 5th duo. It has more of like a purpley color story to it. It's probably in one of my other drawers. I have all of those still in the boxes. Those are all of my backups. Like I said, I just love these so much. But yeah, I don't know where my Kenya is. Anyway, it'll probably turn up the further we get into this declutter. So yeah, keeping all of these, keeping this 20-year anniversary quad. So beautiful. Holding on to that. And then holding on to these other quads that came out with their hummingbird collection. So gorgeous. Here's the other one. This is the cool one. That was the warm one. And here is their newest butterfly one, which I just had to go grab and find space for in this drawer. So obviously keeping all of those. Here are the Rhone quads. These are all of those beautiful toppers. This one is 52 degrees. Really beautiful. I'm going to be holding on to all of these as well. This one is 1111, which is my favorite out of the 3. And then this is the warm one, 75 degrees. And then I do have this Rhone single, which is their summer disco single. Really pretty as well. And then let's see. Oh, I've got this from Edward Bess. Oh, I really, really like this, but I never use it. I never use it. I think I'm going to declutter this. Just had to switch out my battery. All right. And then I have these quads from Giorgio Armani, which I'm going to be holding on to. These are gorgeous, really, really beautiful. And they are on, well, they're not new anymore, but they are on the newer side. This one is Paparazzi, and this one is Amant Premier, really gorgeous. And then let's see. Oh, I've got a Kogan Do quad here. This is really beautiful for every day. I never, ever think to use this. I'm gonna declutter this. This deserves a better home. This Lancome 6-pan palette I purchased, wow, probably about 4 years ago at this point, maybe more than 4 years ago. And I love the packaging. I've been holding on to it for the packaging. I really did love the shadows in here, but I never use this, but I just love this packaging so much. Lisa Eldridge designed this, and I think modeled it after one of her like vintage makeup compacts. Oh, it's so beautiful. Okay, this is a maybe. This is a maybe. Oh, here is a Clé de Peau limited edition draped in velvet quad. This came out, I think last fall, winter? Wow, I'm really losing track of time. But this had like this cream black shadow and then these 3 powder shadows, and it's really pretty. When I looked at it in the pan, I really didn't think much of it, but it's so pretty on the lid. Their compacts are refillable, so yeah, definitely holding on to that. I have this Givenchy quad from a gazillion years ago. I'm going to declutter it. It's not even that great, so I'm going to declutter this. Oh, another Dior. Oh, the Color Games Dior. God, why is it hidden all the way back here? Yeah, this is the Color Games eyeshadow palette in 897 Sprint. And I'm gonna definitely move this over to where my other Dior eyeshadows are, so I don't forget about it again. And then here is a Gucci quad from when they, or before I should say, before they redid their entire line. So this is no longer around, no longer in production. I am going to declutter it, even though it's so pretty, but I'm gonna declutter it. I never use it. And then let's see, I've got the NARS, oh, the NARS Orgasm and the NARS Orgasm X quads. Those are really pretty. I enjoy those a lot. And then this one is like the mini NARS palette. I'm gonna hold on to these a little bit longer just to see if I use it a little bit more. I haven't used them that much since I got them, but I do really, really like them. So yeah, I'm gonna hold on to these just a little bit longer. Oh, we've got a couple Suku quads. This one is number 136. So pretty. And this one is 135. This one is so pretty. The Suku formula is just so, it's subtle, but it's really, really beautiful. Like the little shimmers here are just, oh, they're just gorgeous. Like they give just enough impact without being too heavy-handed. Really beautiful. So holding on to those. Another Clé de Peau quad. This is Magnificent Plumage, another limited edition compact here. And this one, oh, this is another one. Wasn't quite sure what I felt when I looked at this, because this blue isn't really me. I don't wear purple shadows that much, although I do feel like I'm coming around. But this on the eyes is just so pretty. Anyway, I'm holding on to this one. Oh, and a quad from Clarins. This was actually sent to me through Octoly, and wow, I completely forgot about it. These are really beautiful shadows. They perform really beautifully, but I'm gonna find a new home for these because like I said, I never think to use this. All right, I'm gonna put back everything I am keeping, and then we'll move on to the next drawer. All right, so I'm leaving room for Kenya if I ever find that one. I really don't know what I did with that. And I'm still on the fence about this. I think I just need to let this go. I think I need to let this go and hope that Lisa Eldridge designs another vintage inspired compact for Lancôme. All right, next drawer, we've got the Midas Cosmetics Smoky Glow palette. This is my friend Hannah's collaboration. So I'm going to be holding on to this. Look at that fun color story. Isn't that so cute? I'm going to be holding on to that. All of my Melt Cosmetics palettes are in here. This is the Millennial Pinks. I'm going to be holding on to this. I'm going to be holding on to all of these. Yes, I'm going to be holding on to all of these Melt palettes. I really like their shadows. I really like their color stories. They're just so much fun. This one is Muerte. This one is Vita. This one is 27. This one is Gemini. Probably one of my favorite color stories ever. I just love those greens. And then Smoke Sessions, which I don't think I've ever used. Let's see. Wondering why it's still in the box. I usually do that. I leave it in the box until I use it. Yep, I have not used it. I think I've swatched it. I can see like little finger marks in there. So pretty. I have to use this one of these days. And then we have a bunch of my bareminerals palettes, which I love. I love these eyeshadows so much. This one I think is actually discontinued. Yeah, the Hidden Treasure. I think this was like, I don't know, out for like a holiday season many years ago. So I'm gonna declutter this, but this was such a good palette. And here is another one, Bare Sensuals. This was another great palette, but I'm gonna declutter it because I think these are all discontinued. And then this one is the Nudes. Look how great, if you're just looking for something really basic, this is like the perfect palette. But again, I'm going to declutter, not available anymore. Then I have a couple of Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes. This Master palette by Mario, I don't know if I can get rid of. We all talk about how much we love this palette because it's just perfect. It really is just a perfect palette, but yeah, just discontinued. It was limited edition. We keep asking for it to come back. I don't think it ever will, but I love it. I absolutely love it. So I'm gonna hold on to that. And then the Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam palette. I keep it in the box because of that velvet packaging, and I just was, you know, hoping to keep it kind of clean. But this was another palette I really, really loved, but I never ever use it. So I'm going to declutter it. And here is one of those Inglot palettes, and I got it when they did the collab with JLo, and I created my own like palette little, it's like their Freedom System, I think is what it's called. So I got 8 of the shadows and put it in here. I believe all of the Inglot stores here in Vegas have closed. Is that right? Yeah, I think they've closed. I'll pass this along. I really liked what I created, but like I said, I just never ever use it. And I think these JLo colors were limited edition. I think they're gone. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass this along. And then moving up here, this is the NARS Claudette palette, which I'm holding on to. This is relatively new and I love this palette. I'm gonna hold on to that. This Ilia Warm Nude Necessary eyeshadow palette. This is relatively new and I feel like I have not gotten a chance to bond with this one, so I'm gonna hold on to this. This Metallic Mysteries from Linda Hallberg, I've just been holding on to for years now, hoping I would find an opportunity to use these, but I'm gonna pass this along. I just, you know, never think to reach for it. Here is the NARS Ignited palette. So beautiful. God, NARS comes out with so much stuff. I think I'm gonna go ahead and pass this one along. The NARS Wanted palette, another one, just such a beautiful color story and fun textures, but I'm gonna pass this one along as well. The NARS Hyped eyeshadow palette, I'm gonna pass this one along. The NARS Loaded palette, now this one is not available anymore, but this is one of those like dream eyeshadow palettes of mine. I feel like this is falling into the category of you'll have to pry it out of my cold dead hands. So I'm gonna hold on to this one. Here is Skin Deep. Oh, this was another really good one, but I never use it. Never ever use it. So I'm gonna pass this along. Here is the Narcissist L'amour, toujours l'amour. And I'm gonna pass this one along because this is old. This is really, really old. This is probably 5 or 6 years old. So I'm gonna pass that along. And then the Sarah Moon palette, oh, I just adored. Well, I adore the photography work on the front. And then I love how this like flipped up this way. I just find these palettes easier to hold. And then they all had the like wet dry formula in here. But this is excruciatingly old too. So I'm going to pass this one along as well. Let's see. Oh, I've got this Divine Skies eyeshadow palette. I'm definitely going to hold on to this. It's so pretty. And then I'm going to get rid of these Lorac and Rachel Zoe. Actually, I don't know. These two are Rachel Zoe collaborations. And they look like fun, and I like that they were really small and, you know, they were really fun, but I never use them. I never ever use them. And the glitters in here, they're a lot of fun, but they're really glittery, and I'm realizing that's not really my thing. So I'm gonna pass these along as well. We have a lot of drawers still to go through, so I'm glad I'm kind of going through these quickly. All right, we made a lot of room in here. I could put the Oma palette in here and my 2 by Terry palettes in here. I do feel like I'm gonna have to pull out all my drawers and kind of reorganize everything, but looking good. Look how empty this looks. Oh, I'm so excited. All right, so this drawer is mostly comprised of Viseart palettes, which I don't anticipate getting rid of, but we'll see. So I have their Libertine 9-pan palette here. I really love this color story. It's just so 80s. Yeah, and it's so much fun. So I'm gonna hold on to that. Oh, I have this Il Maquillage quad. I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this. I really like their shadows. Again, I just never use them. Here is, oh, another Clé de Peau quad. This is part of their regular line. This is one of my favorite quads ever. Look how beautiful these 2 shades are, just gorgeous. I'm actually gonna set this over here to remind myself to put it in with the other Clé de Peau quads. And then, oh, I've got a Suku quad here. This is number 108. And this was a gift from Sonia G when I met up with her in, oh no, this was when actually she came to Las Vegas. This was the first time I met her in person. Oh my God, she's just lovely, just lovely. I can't wait to see her again. But yeah, she gifted this to me. Isn't that beautiful? I'm gonna set this aside too because I need to put this with the rest of my Suku palettes. And then, oh, here's the Polar Ice. Yeah, Polar Ice palette from Chantecaille. Wow, this drawer is a mess. I have a lot of reorganizing to do, but this palette is, oh, it's gorgeous. These shadows were like creamy. They were all actually very, very creamy and soft shadows, so they were a lot of fun to use. This palette, oh, I love this palette so much. It is long gone. It was limited edition. It was super old. I know this is at least 5 or 6 years old, but it's another like dream palette of mine, and it does have some complexion products at the bottom like concealer and powder. I never use those. I just love these 8 shadows, and then these 2 in the center could be used like wet dry. Yeah, I don't know if I can get rid of this. This was one of the first makeup products that I purchased when I first was getting back into makeup and fell in love with. You know, so many things that I had purchased, I was like, oh, just kind of playing around with. I was interested in, you know, the formulas were fun to play with, but this was one that I was like, oh my God, I love you so much. So I'm gonna hold on to this, just nostalgia reasons. Okay, Viseart 12 pans. Here's the neutral mattes, and these are the new compacts, the new palettes that they come in. They're magnetized. You can pop them out really easily. So definitely holding on to that. This is like one of the most amazing palettes ever. We have the newer Cool Mattes, holding on to. This is the Neutral Mattes Milieu, holding on to that. And then we have Warm Mattes number 10. This is in the old packaging, so these are not magnetized. And the cover is click instead of magnet. So this is Warm Mattes, love that. Here is Dark Mattes, another essential. Here is Bijou Royal, which is just beautiful. Look at that color story. Oh, gorgeous. And then let's see. Oh, this one is Koi. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? I think this was limited edition. Yeah, I'm not sure that they have this anymore. I do know that they sell their singles, so you can probably get the singles, but I'm not sure that they sell this actual palette. Anyway, this one is Koi. And then here is Editorial Brights. Definitely a palette I don't use often, but I feel like if I ever need a bright matte shadow, I come here. And then I have Paris Nude. Look at those soft, like watercolor shades. So gorgeous. Here is Sultry Muse, another beautiful one. I'm telling you, Viseart is just ahead of their time. And then here is the older Cool Matte palette. And then this is the empty palette. So this is the one that I personalize and kind of take with me and, you know, play around and kind of create my ideal palette. So I think a lot of these are from like those big pro palettes that I have, and maybe from some of the Theory palettes. Anyway, I kind of grab from all the other palettes and create my own, but that's my own empty palette from Viseart. And then here are some more 9 pans. So here is Liaison, which I think is probably my favorite 9 pan palette, which is funny because it's purple based and I'm not really a purple lover, but look at that color story. Oh, it's so good. Here is Tryst, which is more pink. And this was the second 9 pan palette. And then Golden Hour. This was the very first 9 pan palette they came out with. And it's a beautiful, warm, Golden Hour sunset inspired palette. And then let's see, so I've got 3 of these Bare Minerals Gen Nude 6 pan palettes. I think I'm going to declutter all of these. I really enjoy their shadows. I did not like these shadows quite as much as I liked their big palettes, the ones that I just decluttered. So I never really reach for them. So I'm gonna go ahead and find better homes for those. That one was neutrals, this one is copper. I think I use this one the most. I really liked this green. And then here is Latte. I got these at Ulta. Yeah, and I think these are all still available. Oh, here are my empty palettes from Chantecaille, so I'm not getting rid of these, but this has 2 eyeshadows, 2 blushes, and 1 cream blush of theirs. So holding on to these, and then this is eyeshadows that I personalized. Aren't they just gorgeous? I know a lot of these have been discontinued, unfortunately. I wonder if they're kind of redoing their singles. Ah, the Kevyn Aucoin Nude Pop. Such a good palette. Such a good palette. I'm gonna hold on to this one. This Guerlain Golden Land palette. This was definitely a decent palette. I really liked how the shadows performed, but I'm gonna pass this along. I never really use it. It was limited edition, and it's really bulky. It's really, really bulky considering how small this little eyeshadow area is. And then I have this Huda Beauty Neon palette, and I've been holding on to this because I have nothing. Yeah, I really don't have anything like this. I mean, especially that lime green shade, and I really liked this palette. I got along with it. So yeah, I think I'll hold on to this through like another summer. I feel like I'd probably wear these colors in the summertime if I felt so inclined. So yeah, I'm gonna hold on to this for one more season. Oh, my Basquiat. I think it's time to let this go. The color story is great too, and I actually really, really liked these shadows. I get along with Urban Decay shadows. They're nice. But look at that Basquiat. I did get rid of the blush and highlight quad. Okay, I'm gonna hold on to this for just a little bit longer. Okay, I'm gonna hold on to this for a little bit longer. Okay, I'm going to put all this back and then we'll move on to the next one. All right, this is looking much roomier. Again, I need to just kind of reorganize. I don't know why these Chantecailles are here, and I do have those other Armani quads that this can kind of sit with, and I do have a lot of other Viseart palettes, which we're coming to, and then I have these 2 that I'm gonna go ahead and put into the other drawers where they belong. Okay guys, I had to take a break yesterday, so we're actually doing this the next day, and I got my nails done. I'm so excited. So anyway, you'll see that difference. But we're here with my next drawer, which is just all Chanel quads, Charlotte Tilbury quads, and then the smaller Viseart palettes. I really don't know if I'm gonna be able to get rid of too much, but you can see it's completely overflowing. So I may just have to do a little bit of reorg, but I don't know if I'll be able to get rid of too much here. So anyway, let's start. God, these are all crazy. Let's start with the Chanel quads over here. This is the newest one from their Les Pearl collection. So I'll be keeping this. I really, really love it. So that's not going anywhere. We've got this Warm Memories quad. This is the one that came out a while ago, and then they re-promoted it for their spring collection. So hold on to that one. That one's a pretty one. Here is Candeur et Experience, and I love this quad. I don't use it that much anymore. I used it quite a bit when I first got it. This quad is very old. It's like, I got it when it first came out in 2016, so this fall it'll be 5 years old. I think I should declutter it just because of that reason. We have the Noir Supreme. I do like this palette. I'm gonna hold on to this. We have the Eclat Enigmatique. I don't know, I'm slaughtering that too. This is the one that had like the little waves in the pan. Really beautiful, beautiful quad. So I'm gonna hold on to that. We have the Lumiere Naturals. Definitely holding on to this. This is like such a Michele color story. This is the 314. I can't pronounce that, but this is one of my favorites. It's just so soft and beautiful. So holding on to that. Then we have the Clair Obscur, which is another one of my favorites. Then we have Blurry Green, another beautiful quad. We have Blurry Gray, another beautiful one. Then we have Blurry Mauve, Another gorgeous one. I feel like I need to pull this one out and use it. This color story is really speaking to me right now. And then we have Modern Glamour, which is just such a great gray toned palette. So holding on to that. Then we have the Candeur et Seduction. This is relatively new. We have Elemental. This is also very pretty, very soft color story, really beautiful for every day. Then we have this one, it's number 304, and this one is not my favorite. I basically like these top two shades a lot. So I'll hold on to this. And then we have Lumiere et Opulence, so beautiful. Here is the Candeur et Provocation, relatively new, really pretty. I like this one a lot. I'm gonna hold on to this. Here is number, oh, there's no number, but I cannot pronounce that, so I'll just hold it up. But this one is also a very pretty one. And all right, we have some of the 9-pan palettes here. This is one of my all-time favorite palettes. This one is the Indispensable palette. These are all limited editions, so these are not available. And then here is the other 9-pan palette I have. This is the number 2 Quintessence. Isn't that pretty? It has that pretty blue and red in there. Let's see. Oh, I have these two Beige. They're not quads. Yeah, they're like quints. So this one is Warm. I never really reach for these. And then this one was the original one that they came out with. I think they call this one Medium now. And it's very pretty. It's very basic. And I have used this one quite a bit. So I'm going to hold on to this one. And Warm, yeah, Warm I really like. I'm going to hold on to that too. Let's see, we have, oh, here are the ones, the flower ones. So I'll just hold up the names because I cannot pronounce these, but it's number 358. So pretty. So I'm going to hold on to that. And this is the other one, 356. I just love the little flowers. So holding on to those. Then let's see, this one is the, oh, the Code Elegance. So this is one of the older quads. I purchased it fairly recently, but this is like their older formula. And it's just very, I think you can see it. It's just really powdery and really kind of micro glittery. And I don't know, I've never really gotten along with this formula. I keep trying though. I keep trying, and look at that color story. It's so pretty. I think I need to use this with like a matte quad or something like that, just to kind of make it work a little bit better, but I'm gonna keep trying with this one. So I'm gonna hold on to this. This one is 312 Quiet Revolution. I'm not really a blue eyeshadow person, but I really love this color story. I think it's this blue that really gets me. It's such a deep, rich blue, but it's kind of bright. It's like a peacock blue. It's so pretty. So I'm gonna hold on to this. I'm only getting rid of that one, sadly enough. But let's go ahead and take a look at my Charlotte Tilbury ones. So we have the newer Hollywood Flawless Eye Filter luxury palettes. This is Diva Lights. These are so pretty, and I don't think I've gotten to use these as much as I would like so far, but this one is my favorite. This one is Star Aura. Oh, it's so pretty. Love that. And then this one is Eyes of a Star. A little bit warmer. So holding on to those. This one is Fire Rose. Really pretty. This shade right here is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. But that's Fire Rose, relatively new. I'll hold on to that. We have Dolce Vita, which they've renamed at this point. I'm actually not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure what it's called. This is the original Dolce Vita. This one is Mesmerizing Maroon. So kind of is like a purpley color story. Here is Walk of No Shame. These are all relatively new. Oh, the Uptown Girl. This one is one of my older ones, but look at that. Oh, it's so pretty. Can't get rid of that. Desert Haze. This was the all matte one. Nice, rich, warm color story. Here we have Super Blue. Relatively new, so I guess I'll hold on to that too. Golden Goddess. This, I think, is maybe the very first Charlotte Tilbury palette I ever got. Is that right? Golden Goddess? I think so. So I purchased this probably 5 or 6 years ago, so I think I should let this one go. I do love that color story though, but if I miss it, I can always get it again. Here is the Rebel. Oh, I love this. This green color story. They've renamed this to like the green, I can't remember what it's called. Not Green Goddess, something. But it's not called the Rebel anymore. Here is Legendary Muse. This one was limited edition. And yeah, I don't think you can get this anymore. And I didn't even get a chance to use it too much, but I love this shade down here because it has a little bit of green in there. Oh, it's so pretty. So I'm gonna hold on to that. Here is Transform Eyes, and that one is pretty. Not doing, like I said, I'm not gonna be getting rid of too many in here. Here's Exaggerize, another one of my favorites. Here is Pillow Talk. This one, I like the way it looks in the pan. It does warm up on my eyes. It's not my favorite, but I'll hold on to it. Here is Copper Charge. So this came out with those like color-coded quads, like the Super Blue and the Rebel and the Mesmerizing Maroon. This was the fourth one, Copper Charge. Luxury Palette of Pops. This one is Celestial Eyes. This one's also really pretty. And all 4 of these shades are like just really like glittery and fun, and you can use them all over. You can use them as toppers. This one's a pretty palette. And then we have Fallen Angel. This is a really, really old limited edition one. And this is, it's almost like a precursor to her Flawless Eye Filter, because can you see they're all baked shadows. So let me just hold it up next to Diva Lights. This one's a little bit more neutral. This one has that warm bit in there. Yeah, they pretty much swapped out this shade for the copper shade, but I really like this shade. Okay, this is a maybe. This is a maybe. Let me put this aside. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll get rid of that one. And then here is Dreamgasm, which you can probably tell I really like this shade. I feel like I've, yeah, really dug a hole in that one. This one's a really pretty, just kind of all over shade. So I'm gonna hold on to this one. And then we have all of these Visearts, and I just love all of these so much. I'm not gonna get rid of any of these. But I do wanna kind of maybe move these over to where the rest of my Viseart palettes are. But I'm gonna kind of just do a whole reorganization at the end, you know, after I declutter everything. I guess I'll go through this quickly. If you're not interested in these, just fast forward. But yeah, I'm gonna be holding on to all of these. So this is the Theory Amethyst. Here is Theory Cashmere, and I think one of my pans is in my 12 pan magnetic palette, but this is Cashmere. Here is Absinthe. Here is Siren. Here is Minx, one of my favorites. And here is Chroma. Those are all of my Theory palettes, and then these are all of my Petit palettes. So this is Petit Pro 1, Petit Pro 2, Petit Pro 3, Petit Pro 4, which is Apricotine, Petit Pro 5, which is Soleil, Petit Pro Chouchou, which is one of my favorites. And then here I have the Edit palettes, which are the 12 pan versions of those Petit Pro palettes. So here is Warm Edit. And I keep all these boxes because it's the only place where they actually have the color names. So I just hold on to them. Here's the Rosé Edit. Here is Dark Edit. Here is Paris Edit. And here is the Spritz Edit. All right, I'm gonna put back all of the Chanel palettes and all the Charlotte Tilbury palettes, and then I think I'm gonna leave out my Viseart palettes and put them, well, try to put them into the drawer where I have the other Viseart palettes that I have, like the 12 pan and the 9 pans. All right, so I was trying to decide about Fallen Angel. I think I'm going to declutter it. I'm going to take it as a sign that these fit in these two sections perfectly. So I'm going to declutter that one. And then what I think I'm going to do is move the Chanel Overflow ones over here. All right, so this drawer is looking good. I do have all of these Viseart palettes that I need to find a new home for, but I'm liking this a lot better than it was. It was just way too crowded and I was never coming into this drawer for anything. So looking so much better. All right, here is my Pat McGrath drawer, and I even pulled out 2 palettes from my closet because that's where I keep these. These are like special limited edition ones. I am not going to be decluttering any of this. And in the past when I've done declutters and I've just kind of skipped over drawers that I've had that I know I'm not going to declutter anything, you guys have always asked me like, what happened? What happened to all of your Pat McGrath palettes or whatever? So this drawer and actually the next drawer, my last drawer, are 2 drawers I'm not going to be doing any declutters from. So just want to let you know before we hop in there, I'm going to be keeping all of these, but I do have pretty much all of her palettes. Anyway, so this is the Mothership Sublime Bronze Ambition palette. I believe all of these have been discontinued, but here is Bronze Ambition. Here is Bronze Temptation. And here is Platinum Bronze, which still remains one of my favorites. Here is Metamorphosis. Here is Dark Star. Here is La Vie en Rose. And here's that little 6-pan palette she came out with. I don't even know if this one has a name. So anyway, it's this guy, which I believe has long been discontinued. And then she had these 5-pan palettes. This one is called the Eye Ecstasy Sublime palette. Here is the Eye Ecstasy Subversive palette. Here's Mothership 1 Subliminal. Here is Mothership 2 Sublime. Here is Mothership 3 Subversive. Mothership 4 Decadence. Mothership 5 Bronze Seduction. Mothership 6 Midnight Sun. Mothership 7 Divine Rose. And then I do have the Mothership 4 Decadence in this Star Wars packaging, which I haven't touched. And then I do have Mothership 8 Divine Rose 2 in this special packaging. And I'm just taking you over to the bottom drawer of this Alex system that I sit in front of because it has all of my Natasha Denona like larger palettes, which I realized I didn't show you either. So we're just going to quickly go over those because I'm not going to be getting rid of any of those. But what prompted me to come over here are the rest of my Pat McGrath palettes. So I just wanted to show them to you quickly. This one is the Star Wars Dark Galaxy. So this was the 6-pan Star Wars. Here is the Star Wars Galactic Gold. Here is the Golden Opulence 6-pan. Here is the Rose Decadence 6-pan palette. And then here is like the Mega, I think it's just, oh yeah, Mothership Mega Celestial Divinity palette. And here is that one. And then here are all of my Natasha Denona palettes. And when I had first shown this drawer, I had a lot of bigger palettes in here that I've decluttered, and so it was kind of empty. My drawers were kind of overflowing, so I moved a lot of stuff over here. So that was kind of in between, like when I was talking about these drawers and my plastic drawers. Anyway, so here are my Natasha Denona palettes. This is the Glam palette. Here is the Love palette. Here is the Bronze palette. Here is the Sunrise palette. Here is the Triochrome palette. Here is the Biba palette. Here is the Safari palette. Here is the Tropic palette. Here is the Metropolis palette. Here is the Gold palette. Here is the Lila palette. Here is the Sunset palette. And here is the Star palette. And here is my last drawer of eyeshadow palettes. All of these are Tom Ford quads, and I will not be getting rid of any of these. I love them all so much. So I'm just gonna start at the tippy top here. This one is African Violet. This one is Arabesque. This is probably the only one that I didn't really get along with. I just didn't get any kind of color payoff from any of these shades. So a little disappointing, but I'm gonna hold on to it. Here is Body Heat. Here is Cocoa Mirage, which has been discontinued. Such a good one. Here is Cognac Sable, another gorgeous quad that has been discontinued. Here is Disco Dust. Here's Daydream. Here is Double Indemnity. Here is Golden Mink. Here is De La Creme. Here is Honeymoon. Here is Iris Bronze. Here is Last Dance, which has been discontinued. Here is Nude Dip. Here's Leopard Sun. Here is Noir Fumé. Here's Mink Mirage. Here's Photosynthesex. Here is Pretty Baby. Seductive Rose. Sous le Sable. Silvered Topaz. Super Nouveau. Suspicion. Titanium Smoke. Virgin Orchid. White Suede. Burnished Amber. Visionaire. Meteoric. First Frost. Soleil Neige. Soleil et Lune. Soleil d'Hiver. White Suede. This one is Badass. And this one is Mercurial. So those are all of my Tom Ford quads. I actually just ordered Desert Fox, and we'll be doing like a try on haul with that one. So I'm glad I left a little bit of room here for some new ones. He also just came out with Insolent Rose, which was already sold out on Sephora when I checked. Anyway, I don't know if I'll be getting that one. I wasn't even sure if I was going to be getting Desert Fox, but it did look really nice. So does Insolent Rose. So anyway, those are coming up. But let me go ahead and put this drawer back, and then I'll just bring out all of the palettes that I'm going to be decluttering. So these are all the palettes I'm getting rid of. I am pretty proud of myself, and when I look over at my drawers, they look less like they're busting or bursting at the seams. So let me just quickly count up how many palettes I'm actually getting rid of. Wow, I think I'm getting rid of 55 palettes, you know, if you count these guys too. So that is pretty good. I'm pretty proud of myself. So I hope you guys enjoyed this declutter. I am going to be continuing on with my single shadows, my lip liners, my eyeliners, my mascaras, my brow products, some shadow sticks. Yeah, I still have a bit of my collection to go through. So if you're enjoying these declutters, please subscribe down below and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.